All right, Alex.
What you seeing?
I got 122 flag, 107 front, uphill. I'm excited to share with you a lot of the lessons I've learned on the golf course to make you not only a better golfer, but a golfer that people are going to enjoy playing with more. Hello, friend. My name is Scott Epstein, also known as Scottie the Caddie, and welcome to the Links in Lifestyle podcast. I'm grateful to be here and thankful that you're taking the time to listen. We're going to stick with the outline again this week. The feedback was really good, so thank you for that. The days of the teleprompter are a thing of the past. Let's tee it up and shoot under par today. I want to talk about two main themes. Our front nine is going to talk about Augusta and the Masters week, which just concluded with Rory McIlroy winning his second green jacket. There were a lot of lessons from that I'm excited to dive in and talk about. And then the back nine, we're going to talk about prom night. Both of my daughters went to the prom this past weekend, and a lot of cool stuff came up for me around that as well. So in the words of the great Al Bundy, let's rock. Front nine, Augusta National and Masters takeaways. My friend Kenny and Big Ken went on Friday. Like I mentioned, I made an effort to get down there. It didn't work out, but that was fine. We texted a good bit on Saturday, and Kenny just said it was incredible. As I said last week, it is truly a religious experience, seeing that place and just being part of that for a day. And among the best parts is they don't allow cell phones there. So we texted a good bit on Saturday, talked about favorite holes and greens and what that experience was like. And I busted his chops to make sure Big Ken didn't run anybody over with a golf cart like he got me a couple of years ago. And he just said they had an amazing time. My good friend John, who had gotten the badges a couple of years ago, he went on Sunday as well. We spoke on the phone for a good bit, and similar experience. He had been there once already, and there's just no words. He can't wait to go back. He got to go with a first timer, and he said it was amazing. He had just the greatest day, and he can't wait to go back again. So that was really cool. On to the golf. Rory McIlroy won his second green jacket. Rory is not my favorite golfer, but he played the best, and he won. So hats off to Rory. There were a few things he said that I want to dive into. In the media conference after the round, he was asked, what has tournament golf and this golf course taught you about life? And what he said was, good things come to those who wait, and just to keep going. And that we talked in this podcast about patience, persistence, staying in the moment, focus. And so all of those things really resonated with me. He hadn't won a major since 2014 before he won last year, had a lot of close calls, and finally got over the hump and not only won the Masters last year, but won the Grand Slam, meaning all four majors. And so I thought it was just really neat. He talked about some of the things we've talked about, how all of that applies to life. Patience, persistence, staying in the moment, continuing, just keep fighting, keep competing. When he got his green jacket, he really addressed the world. And one of the things he said to his wife and daughter, they have to put up with me at home and trust me. Sometimes that's not easy. It speaks for itself, right? Whether you're Scottie the Caddie or you're Rory McIlroy, who has now won 6 majors and is closing in on $1 billion of net worth. Life is hard, right? No one is easy to deal with. And I just thought it was really neat how he acknowledged that he's chasing what he's doing and that he's not the easiest to deal with. So, Melissa, my kids, I know that I'm not the easiest to deal with. So thank you for that. To his parents. So his parents, he grew up in Ireland. His parents worked multiple jobs. They didn't have much. They were a hardworking family, but they provided enough so that Rory could chase his dream of being a professional golfer and doing what he's doing. And so he said to them, I owe everything to you. You were the most wonderful parents. If I can be half the parent to my daughter as you were to me, then I know I've done a good job. What an amazing thing for a parent and a grandparent to hear their child say. And it doesn't have to be, in front of an international audience either. I acknowledge my parents for the job they did with me and my in-laws as well, and the jobs they show up as grandparents for us. We're very blessed, and it's important, in my opinion, to acknowledge that. So acknowledge your parents if they're still around. Acknowledge your grandparents if they're still around. I know for me, they've had a tremendous impact, and that that really hit hard. That was a cool moment. Rory getting emotional and panning to his parents in the video. And lastly, just Justin Rose. He is one of my favorite golfers. I did a video a little while back of my dream foursome, and he was in it. And he had a lead on the back nine. He got a little tight and did not win, but he answered the questions, the hard questions, when his round was over. And my hope is that he'll be back in a position like that one day and learn from the experience and hopefully get over the hump at Augusta. So the week at the Masters is closed. Sadly, we don't get to see Augusta or think Augusta for almost the entire calendar year. Thank you for a great event. Back nine. Let's talk about Friday night. My kids went to prom. My two daughters, our school had prom night, and so a lot of stuff came up. My own childhood, let's start there. I did not go to my prom. I was not very comfortable in my own skin back then. Was very shy around girls, so I didn't have a date. I didn't ask anybody. I went down to Wildwood, New Jersey that weekend, which was fun. I often joke that I'm much better looking and less awkward now than I was back then, and I like to think that that's true. We have this is year 30 for both Melissa and I's high school reunions. I don't know if we're having one, but Melissa's is in June when we go up there, and she's her class president, and we can't wait to go. It's going to be awesome. I contrast that with a buddy of mine, QB1, who I see at least once a summer, who didn't go to our 20th, and if I had to guess, would have no interest in going to our 30th. He does not have the QB1 body or hairline that he did back then, that he has now. Both girls had dates, which was really neat. One is dating a fine young man now over a year, and it's been really amazing to see how they are towards each other. He really treats her well, and he's taught my daughter, how to be treated, how to expect to be treated, and so all of that has been really cool. And it's also been a reminder of how fast time goes. I can't believe that they're 17 and 18 years old, and Haley, the older of the two girls, is going to Charleston Southern in August. And we've gone from 3 in the house down to 2 and now down to 1. And pretty soon it'll just be the two of us, just Melissa and I. And we'll see. We'll see how all that goes. Now we're excited about it. It took us a time to reflect on our own parenting and the job we've done. We're very present. We don't micromanage them, and we do a good job. They're great kids, and there's certainly lessons we've learned in things that we probably could have done better. Certainly around discipline. Certainly me more so than Melissa. But we've done the best I can. There's books about it, but until you're in the throes of parenting, we do our best. And they've gotten older. They're well-adjusted kids. I think about what I was like at 17, 18 years old, and the partying and the kind of stuff that I was doing that, by the grace of God, they don't do now, which is a big win for us. But in the age of social media and things like that, especially with girls, it's challenging. I also want to highlight the power of them going to a Christian school and what that instills in the kids. I think that's really helped. That's been great. I got bar mitzvahed at 13, but really lost track or connection with God or a higher power at that point in my life. Went to temple once a year for the high holy days, but I contrast that to my life now, for sobriety, and now my walk with Jesus, and it's a lot different. I've mentioned before, Melissa is part of church leadership on Wednesday nights for kids, and she had 7th graders that are now 9th graders. So she's been going on it now 3 years, and is a very positive person and impact in their lives, and a lot of them lean into her and know that if they have something going on, that she's there to help. And so just seeing kids experience that is really cool, and gives me optimism for society and where we're heading. We're closing the door on both of those, on the Masters as well as prom. Real quickly, if you're enjoying this podcast, please like, comment, share it. It helps with all the algorithm and stuff that I don't understand. Big finish. Win for the week, challenge, Bible verse. Win for the week. Melissa and I had a fun date after the prom. We limited our chat about kids and business and focused on, talking about our memories and powerfully about our future and connecting and focusing on us. We went to a place with solid food, and we didn't know Friday night was karaoke night. So Melissa loves to sing. So she got after it. She sang a couple songs with Wally. She made a new friend. She let it rip, and we're definitely planning on going back there. For me, summer bod and night abs is full steam ahead. We've been doing really well with that. I think I've missed one night in 2.5 weeks, and I still haven't had sweet since February 22nd. So we're going to keep going with that and see where it goes. Challenge. On the same date night, I scrolled on my phone. I was on my phone when Melissa was telling a story, and I snuck a peek, and she wasn't very happy about it. And so she was very hurt. We worked through it. I owned that I was wrong. I did mention Matthew 21:22 to her about being forgiven 70 times for something, and I give her credit for forgiving me, like Rory said. My wife, like hers, puts up with a lot, and I'm very blessed and grateful for that. She didn't let it ruin our night. I kind of wormed my way out of it, but the damage was done. I've been much better since. I'm not perfect, and that's the part I want to highlight. I deliver a message here or make a suggestion, and I don't always listen to my own advice or do the right thing. So I've got to call myself out and call balls and strikes on me, just like anybody else. Bible verse. What I chose this week is from Proverbs 22, verse 6. Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. So what that means to me is to guide my children with purpose and consistency. I'm not perfect, but I try to do my absolute best to be there for Alex, Haley, and Gwen, and be consistent and be in purpose around it. Teaching biblical truths equips them with wisdom and salvation. All three of them, like I said, have been part of our church community with Youth Movement Night. They watch or go to church every week, and we talk about it, which is really neat. So I know that they're on the right path. I know it's not perfect, but all of that is important. Instilling discipline, not my strongest suit, but discipline when rooted in love helps children understand boundaries and develop respect for authority. So important. I think one of the things that's missing in society is the way that I and we discipline our children today. My kids, I'm their friend, but I'm not their buddy. So when Haley or Gwen calls us bro or bra, that's a problem and something that really, really gets us upset. And we let them know, hey, I'm dad, she's mom. Modeling godly behavior. Children learn by example, so parents' actions, attitudes, and faith practices significantly influence their development. So true. My kids know that I'm in recovery. They know that I go to a couple meetings a week. They know that I go to Bible study on Thursday nights. So I'm doing my best to lead by example and model that behavior so that they follow and, in those tough moments, make the right suggestions and try to do what Jesus would do and just make the right choices. And then lastly, consistent guidance. Daily teaching, conversation, and reinforcement of values ensure that children internalize principles that guide them throughout life. What comes up for me around this is it's not just children, right? I'm going to be 48 in June. Can't believe I'm going to be 48. And so I still lean into and look for guidance from my parents, from other mentors in my life. So that's not just applicable to children. So that was my takeaway from that. So with that, God bless. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you next week.